What's up, nootropics lovers? My name is Monsel and I'm with Nootropedia, and today, as you can see, I'm in beautiful Innsbruck, Austria, and I'm going to talk to you about the best nootropic stack.
I ain't fazed by the rain, I ain't fazed by the pain, I ain't fazed by the clouds or the shade. I'ma shine regardless.
So guys, as with any restaurant, if you want to find the best food, you're going to search for Yelp. You're going to look for the very best of whatever it is you're searching for. But like a restaurant, when you get there, everybody has a different favorite option. One person might choose one thing on the menu and someone may choose something different. And that's exactly the way it is when it comes to finding the best nootropic stack for you specifically. So before we go any further, I want to reiterate, this is a very unique individual thing, and you want to make sure that you're finding the best nootropic stack for your specific needs. Now, if you wait to the end, I'm going to give you my favorite nootropic stack for anybody who's really lazy and can't do all of the work themselves or don't want to do the work themselves. That's fine, that's up to you, so I'll give that to you at the end. But for now, let's think about how we can find the best nootropic stack for your particular needs. So guys, before we move too far, let me keep one thing clear with you. Anyone who is trying to sell you the best nootropic stack is suspect because they consider themselves to be the best product for everybody, and that's simply not the case. Usually, if they say it's the best nootropic stack, it's because they're trying to sell you something. So without further ado, let's get started. Step number one, you have to figure out first, what is your goal? There's 5 different goals. You can have focus and concentration, memory enhancement, learning ability, creativity, improved mood, and my personal favorite, longevity or anti-aging. So for focus and concentration, my number one choice is always the very basic caffeine plus L-theanine. It's a great combination, very useful for beginners, and it has a lot of studies that show it actually does work for most people. Now, the second focus option that I'd recommend is called phenylpiracetam, because it does modulate dopamine, which means that the focus and concentration can come from similar mechanisms of caffeine, but mostly it's very different. It's a cholinergic drug, it's supposed to be a memory enhancer, and even though there's not a ton of studies, I did a QEEG brain map and found that phenylpiracetam worked essentially like an ADD medication for my focus and concentration. Now, many people on Reddit anecdotally report that there's increased focus as well, so it might be something for you to try out if you are willing to go beyond the basic caffeine L-theanine blend. So number 2 is memory enhancement. And if you're trying to improve your memory, the best place to start if you want to go as a beginner is a natural product called Bacopa monnieri. And this is one of the few nootropic compounds that has decades of experience. In fact, there are tons of studies from Indian research labs because the government has funded research of Bacopa, as it is an Ayurvedic herb that's been used for thousands of years. So many of the studies show that it improves memory, but keep in mind, if you're going to use Bacopa, you want to do so for the long term. Most of the studies show benefits for memory formation at the 4 to 8 week period. So the second memory drug is piracetam. It is a very basic cholinergic compound, which means that it helps to improve the choline system. And the way that piracetam works primarily is by increasing utilization and uptake of choline into a certain region of the brain called the hippocampus. And the hippocampus is a region that is specifically designated for memory formation. This is one of the reasons why piracetam is so effective, and if you use it with enough choline, can actually improve memory formation and learning by up to 8 to 10%. So the last memory option for those who are a little bit more experimental is a drug called centrophenoxine. This is a synthetic cholinergic compound. It is a prodrug for a molecule called DMAE, and it's very bioavailable, very useful in some of the early studies. Now again, this is a more experimental drug. It hasn't been tested on a number of healthy adults, etc. So you really have to go on the anecdotal evidence, of which there's plenty if you look at Reddit or Longevity forums. So guys, number 3, creativity. If you want to increase your creativity, I have a couple of different options. Number 1 is phenylpiracetam. Now if you remember, I mentioned this earlier for focus and concentration, but phenylpiracetam, in my experience with the qEEG, actually improves brain wavelengths that are associated with flow states. So much of the research that the qEEG showed was I could get into a flow state with phenylpiracetam. Now this is echoed by many people who have used phenylpiracetam for creative purposes as well. Now guys, the second option, barring any difficulty finding an illegal substance, is LSD microdosing. Now it's become all the rage in Silicon Valley, in Wall Street, and microdosing LSD is purported to improve creativity, help to make visual and aesthetic creativity far better. So you may consider this if you are a creative person or you just want to incorporate more creativity into your daily work routine. So guys, number 4 is improved mood, and to do this I have a few nootropics. One is ashwagandha, and ashwagandha is a natural anxiety relieving compound. It's an Ayurvedic herb. It's been used for thousands of years in India, and many people use it as a starting point or a first responder to any kind of anxiety that they feel. It does work differently than many of the pharmaceutical or prescription drugs, so it could be a great natural option if you're just getting started. Now, if that anxiety has turned into depression, or it is a combination of the two, another option could be St. John's wort. And this is a natural nootropic that you can use in order to reduce symptoms of depression. And a meta-analysis of about 5,000 different people and over 20 different studies showed that St. John's wort has many of the same effects as pharmaceutical SSRIs, but without the side effects. So this could be a great natural alternative as well if you're looking for the best nootropic stack for your improved mood. So if you're anything like me and you are interested in anti-aging, in longevity, then I also have a couple of options for you as well. The combination of CoQ10 and PQQ is useful for improving mitochondrial health. In fact, a study of both of these compounds combined showed that they could improve mitochondrial health, improve energy formation, when neither of the two alone could do so. So combining these two seems to have some synergistic effect, and it might behoove you to start with this if you want to increase your longevity or your lifespan. Now, a second option within the aging category is called quercetin, and it is a bioflavonoid that comes from apples and onions and a bunch of different vegetables and fruits, but it is a very powerful antioxidant and detoxifier that you can utilize as well. Now, my personal favorite in the longevity and anti-aging category is a new compound, well, a more recently discovered compound in the nootropics community called sulforaphane. And of course, this isn't a new compound, but it's something that has come into the popular conversation due to Dr. Rhonda Patrick, who mentioned the extract or this compound that comes from cruciferous vegetables as a way of reducing the all-cause mortality, reducing risk of cancers, heart disease, and a variety of other neurodegenerative diseases. Now, I personally did 23andMe and found that I have an NAT2 mutation, which suggests that I have a poor ability to detoxify different airborne or food-related toxins during the day, and because of that, I find it very challenging, and sulforaphane can actually help to reduce the toxins where my body is lacking because of this specific mutation. So even if you don't have this mutation, it can be a really great nootropic and one of the best nootropics to include in any stack that is geared towards anti-aging or longevity. So guys, if you've listened to the whole video and now you're interested, what's the shortcut? What do I just take if I want one nootropic stack that I can use in order to improve my cognition? I want to first reiterate that this is not where I suggest you start. I don't think it's a good idea for you to just buy a specific nootropic and consider it the best nootropic stack, but I do want to give you an option if you are feeling compelled to get one thing. Now, the best nootropic stack in my mind that's a formula or a blend of products is called Qualia, and it's from the Neurohacker Collective. Now, they have suggested that you take it 5 times a week with 2 off days, and I'm of the opinion that I only really need it once or twice a week. Now, it's got very useful ingredients like Noopept or centrophenoxine, and there's a wide array of Ayurvedic herbs and vitamins and nutrients as well. Now again, just because it's filled with 42 different ingredients doesn't mean that it is the best nootropic or that more is better, but I do think that they have spent ample time developing the formula. I use it myself. It's probably one of the few nootropic stacks that I actually use, so it might be the best nootropic stack for you if you are just getting started and you don't want to do all the research for yourself. Also, just keep in mind, if you're going to use it, try to cycle it as best as possible. It does have caffeine, it has a bunch of other ingredients in it as well, but if you use it every single day, there's a good chance you will become tolerant to the drugs that are inside the stack. Now, some people, like my friend Dan Party, doesn't experience that or don't experience that, but I have, and you might as well. So try and cycle it if you can do so. So anyway, guys, that's it for this video. I hope you've learned a little bit about how to find the best nootropic stack that's for you and your unique needs, instead of relying on somebody to basically market and sell you something. Now, if you do really need one specific stack for whatever reason, then I would suggest the Qualia stack, and again, that is not my first step, but I want you to find all the information in this article right here. Go ahead and click the link and you'll be taken to the Nootropedia page, where I will tell you even more information about how to pick the best nootropic stack. Anyway, guys, signing off from Innsbruck, Austria. I'll see you next time.
I ain't fazed by the rain, I ain't fazed by the pain, I ain't fazed by the clouds or the shade.